Hey everyone, so this is my review of American Horror Story, Season 6, Episode 3, called Chapter 3. And basically what this episode is about is that nightmares are a lot revisited in this episode, and Lee's whole turmoil over Flora's disappearance becomes even more heightened, I guess is the best word. And some more secrets of the very beginnings of this whole sort of town, and especially this house, are kind of revealed in this episode. And with this episode, it was a very interesting and weird episode, but it was not an episode I really cared for all that much. I did really like in this episode that it did definitely finally get into the backstory of like this house and pretty much the whole town. And I did really like them finally bringing in the Croatoan and having that apply sort of to the story and molding that all together. I really enjoyed. And the character of the Butcher, I believe she was called, I liked, but I feel like after so many episodes of her being around, I'm going to get really annoyed by her, because she's definitely a character that you can only take in small doses. So I'm excited about her, but also not. And Flora being missing, I really liked as a story plot, and definitely through most of this episode, it was done really well. But the whole ending chunk of it, where they just make like this weird deal with some of the ghosts, including the Butcher, was really not what I was expecting for this whole thing to end on. Because the missing chunk was done so well, and then just having this random deal to like fix it all was not how it should have gone in my mind. It should have drug the missing chunk out more, which maybe it will do, because Flora's not actually back yet. So maybe it will drag on a bit more, but just making a deal with some ghosts to fix all their problems was not what I was thinking that they should have done. And Mason in this episode was really kind of interesting, with the fact of him wanting to basically blame everything on Lee, and just Lee was the cause of all the problems, was interesting and I really kind of liked, but it was a bit overplayed. And I kind of feel bad with how Mason eventually ended up in this episode. And it's kind of more sad for Flora because of the fact that now that Mason's out of the picture, she really has nowhere else to go, which is really kind of sad. And the character of the Cricket, I really loved, for the fact that he was very weird and did his job as a psychic kind of well. And he definitely was a highlight of this episode. But I do have to say the ending chunk with him was like the major chunk that I didn't care for, because it was just so weird and so out there. And it was also the scene that had the deal with the ghosts that I talked about earlier. And it just was not necessary in my mind, because it just caused all these unnecessary problems that are just going to be riddled through the next episodes to come. And I understand why they're there, but I also don't want them there. So it's kind of annoying in my mind. And just overall, I have to say, this was an interesting episode that was kind of fun to watch, but I didn't really care for it. So yeah, that's my review of American Horror Story Roanoke. Episode 3 called Chapter 3. So yeah, bye!